All right, so the last little part of this. So far we have gone from standard form to factored form so that we could graph. Is there anything that we can do or know directly from standard form? Well, we said the one thing we know is the y-intercept, right? That's helpful but not great. We know the y-intercept because it is just the c value. Let's look at something else. So if I look at this, I can determine the vertex directly from standard form. So I'm going to use this, x equals negative b over 2a. So I take the opposite of my b value, put it in the numerator, and then multiply 2 times my leading coefficient, put it in the denominator. That will give me the x value of the vertex. So doesn't that also give me the line of symmetry? So if I look at this, if I know the x value, I can plug it in to get the y value. So just take what you get when you have x equals negative b over 2a, plug it back in to the standard form equation, and figure out what your y value is. Any idea where that comes from? Hopefully, you are maybe thinking of the quadratic formula. So I have x equals opposite b plus or minus b squared minus 2ac, take the square root of that, all over 2a. Well, right here, this is where this comes from, because if we haven't shifted off of that, we're going to be right on the line of symmetry. So if we want to graph straight from standard form, I need to know the x-intercepts, the vertex, line of symmetry, and the y-intercept. So I can find the x-intercepts if I factor and solve. I could find the vertex from negative b over 2a and then plug that back in, which also gives me the line of symmetry. And then we remember the y-intercept comes when x equals 0. So if I were doing this, let's just kind of look at it the other way. If I wanted to start from the vertex and skip over this step for a second. So if I wanted the vertex, I would do x equals the opposite of b, so negative 2 over 2 times a, which is 1. So I would just get negative 1. That is telling me that I have a line of symmetry at x equals negative 1. If I want to find the vertex, right, I'm just going to plug in that negative 1 value up into f of x. So I'm going to say f of negative 1. I'm going to get negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 15. So I've got 1 minus 2 minus 15. So I've got minus 17 plus 1. So I've got negative 16. So that puts me down here. I'm at negative 1, negative 16. So really, I could I could use the y-intercept. I could plug in 0. If I plug in 0, doesn't that make this go away, and I know it's at negative 15. Okay, that also, so that's at 0, negative 15. Doesn't that also confirm what I know about the shape? If I have an a value here of 1, doesn't it make sense that when I go out 1, I go up 1? So I could use that to then go ahead and figure out some more points on that. When I go out 2, I would go up 4. When I go out 3, I would go up 9. When I go out 4, that's when I'm going to go up 16, and that's what will put me right at my x-intercepts. So I could also have figured that out by factoring.